But we got Jeff from FrustratedRockstars.com. Jeff?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
Jeff, we have the question on the table today. Best band, worst album.
Yeah, I love this topic, and I know that Howard and John Hine talked about it last week. They were talking about the worst Beatles album.
It's definitely not. The Beatles have. That's just stupid talk.
Well, yeah, right. First of all, yeah, the word worst and Beatles should not be in the same sentence.
Exactly.
But if you had to pick the least popular one, or like the worst Zeppelin album, or the worst Van Halen album, it's kind of hard to choose. But
I'm choosing mine right now. Van Halen 4.
You mean Van Halen 3?
Oh, no, the one with Gary Sharon was Van Halen 4, wasn't it?
No, that was Van Halen 3.
Oh, that was the fiasco.
I think Bob's got a point. Whatever the fuck they're going to do with this Wolfgang and make a new album with Dave, that's going to be the worst one.
Right.
There's no Michael Anthony.
Right. You're right, and he's a huge, huge part of it. Here's mine. Boston, the band Boston, they did an album called Third Stage.
Right. They waited like 6-7 years after the first two albums they did, which were great.
Yeah. It should have been called Oozing Vagina. Turn this up. This is Boston. Fucking kick-ass Boston from back in the day.
I loved Boston.
Cranking out the tunes. Listen to this. It's like Air Supply. They turned into Air Supply.
Sounds like a Mike Morse song parody.
I won't shut up. That's
really, when I was on the Irish show, like you can hear that underneath it.
What about you, Marky?
Oh, jeez. I'm a huge Kiss fan, as we've mentioned before. And Kiss, at their height of their powers, put out 2 ultra bombs in a row. They put out one called Unmasked, and then followed that up with one called The Elder.
Unmasked had the single Lick It Up, didn't it?
No. That was when it took off. Unmasked was Shandy.
Oh.
And the one before that was Dynasty, which was a hit. I Was Made for Lovin' You was on it.
Right.
And
that's a disco, goddamn.
Right.
Yeah, and they sold their souls, and they actually pursued that sound even further. And
good call, Mark. Those two albums really stick out as like the Unmasked and Music from the Elder, which actually, as a big Kiss fan, I like some of the songs on those albums, but they completely don't stand up compared to the other material, before or after. Like the Lick It Up album is good when they took the makeup off and got Vinnie Vincent. That had some good stuff on it.
Agreed.
The Music from the Elder, they tried to do a concept album, and whenever a band tries to do it, when they try to do a concept album, it bombs.
Yeah, that was their concept album, like Jackie Martin's concept was, I'm holding out for more money on the stage.
Yeah, right. Let's go to Psycho Dan in South Bend, Indiana. Dan?
Show in, guys. You're the shit.
Thanks, buddy. Best band, worst album.
Aerosmith, Done with Mirrors.
Oh, yeah, that's total nail on the head. No one knows any songs from that album.
I was just going to ask you, are there... Oh, Raven's raising her hand.
Down.
Hold on.
Actually, the song that got me into Aerosmith, because I was a youngin', was Let the Music Do the Talking. That is a great song.
But technically, that was a song that Joe Perry put out earlier on his own album, the Joe Perry Project.
Yep.
And Aerosmith covered Joe Perry to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go to Steve in Seattle. Steve?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Shake it up,
What's up? Jeff from Frustrated Rockstars is with us, and we're asking for your best band and their worst album.
I think Zeppelin's worst album was In Through the Outdoor.
Well, again, to me, Zeppelin's like the Beatles. You can't really have a worst one, but if you're going to pick one, it's either that or Presence. So one of the last two.
Nah, I wouldn't say Presence. No way.
You would go Into the Outdoor?
Yes.
No, that was Presence is the weakest.
I would go with Presence because there's just less stuff that you really know.
Brett in Connecticut. Or Brent. Yeah, no, Brett in Connecticut. Sorry.
Shalom, Beyond.
Shalom.
The Guns N' Roses album called The Spaghetti Incident sucks like the Red Sox.
Spaghetti Incident. Some people would say Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 was shitty after Appetite.
I wouldn't say that. I may even say Chinese Democracy. But that doesn't really count because it's not Guns N' Roses.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, the Spaghetti Incident was a disaster. The memorable tune off there was when they covered Since I Don't Have You. And it was an album of covers, and it was a fiasco.
Greg in Florida.
Hey, guys. Led Zeppelin's Coda was the worst album they ever recorded, but any Metallica album after the Black Album is a piece of fucking garbage.
All All right, well, hang on. He's got to go on. First of all, Coda was a compilation of tracks throughout the 70s, so it really doesn't count. It wasn't like a recorded album.
It still sucks.
So, they are the B-sides from those years, but there's some good tunes on there. Yeah, but we got to get into Metallica because this is a huge thing. Metallica. People can't, anything after the Black Album sucks, or people are really into this new album. I'm not really into the new album. I think that's the worst one.
JJ in Idaho.
Hey, Shuli, what's up?
What's up, brother?
Worst album of all time is Motley Crue's Hooligan Holiday.
Yeah,
That
the one
was
with
so
that's the one with John Corabi on vocals.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's just gross.
And then they
Well,
followed.
and Tommy Lee wasn't even on it either, was he?
I think he was. It was everybody but Vince.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Tommy was in prison or screwing Pam or something. I don't know.
That's one of those that no one knows anything from. It just kind of got buried and
Somehow the album got
Right.
made. It just happened.
And then in desperation.
Well, they produced it themselves.
And then they called
it
Vince
was
Neil
supposed to
back.
be their follow-up to Dr. Feelgood, because Dr. Feelgood was a huge hit. But
Yeah.
there was like that whole time lapse when grunge became big, and then they tried to come out with a new Motley Crue, and it bombed.
Mark,
and they responded with that. They desperately called Vince Neil back and threw him back in the band.
Yeah.
And they responded with another El Stinko called Generation Swine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, it
Yeah.
sucked.
It's either when the bands do the concept album or they try to change their musical direction and do something totally different. Doesn't work, man. Stick with what you know. Stick with what made you popular.
Tony in Mission Hills, California.
Hey, guys, great show.
Thank you, buddy.
I'd have to say U2's Pop with that single Discotheque.
I say you two, anything after Rattle and Hum. What do you think of
Okay.
that?
But I think a lot of fans of U2, they would even have to say that's a pretty bad album.
Well, it was different for them because they were going pop. It had that ballad on it, "Staring at the Sun."
Yeah, it had a few good songs, but
yeah, it wasn't a real U2 album.
wasn't a solid album. Yeah.
But hey, you gotta give them credit. They did a good. They had it was a huge album. They did a huge tour in mono. Remember they did the tour with the mono speakers.
Oh, the tour was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on the DVD.
And they sold out Letterman all week, that week they were on.
I'm
Yeah,
actually,
that's true. Right on, Bob.
I know I'm in the minority in this room, but I'm actually a big U2 fan, and I always thought that their worst record was Zooropa.
It was
I
awful.
I like Lemon.
Lou is a huge U2 fan
Yeah,
as
me too.
well, and so is Raven apparently. And
You know what? I was talking about this the other day. They're one of the only bands that if you see them live, they can play their new material and people don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like they could go now play "Get on Your Boots" on their tour now. People will probably stay and check it out, or they'll play "Beautiful Day." That's like 9 years ago. They can
Yeah.
play anything, and people. It's not like hey, it's a new song. Everybody go to the bathroom.
Right.
They're one of the only bands that can get away with that.
yeah, Lou saw him perform in Letterman, said they were great. So
Oh, they're great live. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I just didn't really dig Pop too much.
I hear you, Tony. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Right on, guys.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining us again tonight, man. Give our best to Justin. Sorry he couldn't make it. And check out Jeff and Justin's site, frustratedrockstars.com.
Yeah, we have our show. We have a new format, so a new studio. So check it out. You can see it all there at the
that's cool.
frustratedrockstars.com.